Yeah. So in the ETL automation, guys, we will learn something called as Python, something called as PySpark, something called as cloud-based ETL testing using the Azure Databricks, Azure Data Lake, okay, and then Azure Data Factory, okay, and then there are validations. The validations we will use how to validate the count check or the data check or the duplicate check, okay, or the null check. So all these checks and all now we'll use the codes and we will continue with that. Okay, so we will do the validations using automation. I will see how can we validate this data between source and target. So we have completed, guys, the Python, and today we are trying to learn the PySpark topic. And after that, we'll proceed with the cloud-based ETL testing. Anyone has any doubt till here? Tell me. Anyone has any doubt? Can just tell me. Yeah, okay. So guys, you can speak, you can unmute and speak, please. Anyone, Mahesh or Lokesh, please speak in the class, okay? No need to write in the chat. You can openly tell in the class whatever your doubts are there, okay? Mahesh, Lokesh and all. So guys, so today we are going to start at our fresh topic called as guys PySpark. And if you have any doubts, you can let me know. See, guys, just I wanted to tell you to use this, you need the access to this Azure platform to do any kind of testing. So let me just open this one so that I can tell you the Databricks things, how can we use and how can we do this. Okay, so let me just open a, particular notebook. So this is first of all, guys, the UI of Databricks, and this is the website, guys, portal.azure.com. Any company you will go, you will have to use this portal.azure.com. There are two things when you use our Databricks, guys. One is the community version, Databricks community version, which is the free version. Okay, guys. So if you want, you can use this one. You can just log in here and you can just start giving your email ID. You have to first sign up and then you can access it. And another one is the paid version, guys, which I am using. So for this, guys, you have to go to portal.azure.com. And here you need to, I have already logged in. You need to log in here and you have to pay the amount, guys. And that is the thing, guys, because this is not a paid version. So here you have to take this subscription. Here there will be a Databricks and there will be a data factory, there will be data storage, and then SQL server. There's so many services which you can use. Around guys, 6,000 I had to pay. So if you want to take, you can take. If you don't want, you just use the free version. And later, when you want, you can just take for 1 month for a practice purpose. If you want, if you don't want, you don't take. Okay, no problem. So this is how the UI of the portal.azure.com looks, and this is a no, Databricks, guys. Everywhere nowadays, people are asking Databricks. So you should know this is the UI of Databricks, and you can click on New and click on Notebook. And this is how the UI of the notebook will look, and then you can write down whatever you want, and then you can go to the workspaces, so means whatever the sheets you have created. Suppose I want to write this name as any name you can give. You suppose I'm giving the name as VTS, and I'm writing this as 19th Feb 2025. Any date you can give, any name you can give. And then you can start assessing, guys. So first of all, I wanted to tell you about the PySpark. So PySpark is, guys, a Python API. So API is like a plugin, guys, for Python integrated with Spark. So this Apache so Spark is, guys, a open source distributed computing framework. Distributed computing framework means, guys, if you know big data, do you anyone knows any idea of the big data? Anyone, guys, here? Mahesh, Lokesh, Mukesh.
No, sir. I don't have idea.
What about Mukesh? Yeah, Lokesh and all. Anyone?
Ye-
Any idea? Devendra,
Yeah,
Mahesh.
yeah, I have experience in big data testing and cloud
Yes.
testing too.
Oh, good, good, good. So actually what happens now is a parallel processing, okay? Suppose a task is given. Now it is distributed into multiple systems, okay? Then it becomes what, guys? Suppose this is a system, this is a system, this is a system, this is a system. Then it becomes a big data because parallel processing is happening. All the four computers are working at a same time. Then it becomes a big data, guys. So now for a big data, guys, what happens? I told you, if you remember, big data is having what is big data, guys? It's a huge amount of data. Yes or no, guys? A huge amount of data. So whenever there's a huge amount of data, what will you do? You cannot use the traditional RDBMS. What by we use traditional RDBMS, what will happen? See, you will write a query select a star from table. Now what will happen if you write select a star from table? Now there is 10 crore data in this, okay? Now 10 crore data, it will take around 20 hours to execute. In such kind of cases, guys, so we use a parallel processing, we use a big data commands are there, and we use a parallel processing so that we can fetch the values quickly. Okay, but for a small set of data, RDBMS is enough. But for a very huge set of data, you can't go for the traditional RDBMS. This will fail. It will take a lot of time. System crashes will happen. At that time, we use the parallel processing. And there's two things in big data. If you know SDFS, have you heard about that? Hadoop file system, and there's something called as MapReduce. The MapReduce is something, guys, for processing of data, and SDFS is used to store the data. These two things are mainly used in big data. So there's big data commands also to execute that. It's similar to Unix command. So why I told you all these things, guys, so that you understand a little bit of Spark, because I told you, PySpark is Apache API for Apache Spark, is an open source distributed computing framework. Are you getting this word distributed computing framework? That means multiple computers working at the same time. It allows you to use the Spark powerful data processing capabilities. So Spark is having the capabilities to process the data with Python, and it makes it a big data processing machine learning. It is used, guys, in big data processing, machine learning, and many analytical things. So that is what is the power of a Spark for the data processing. We use what Spark, and when it is integrated with Python, it is a Python API, and then it becomes a PySpark. This is completely, guys, open source. There's no money required for it. It's completely free. And that is why this PySpark is so much required. And the key features of PySpark I have written here, suppose distributed computing, which I have told you just now. That means it's handled a large scale of data, and there's multiple nodes means computers, guys. Multiple computers can access the same time. So that is what is called as call it as distributed computing. In memory processing, that means it is speed up the computation by reducing the disk input output, because there are multiple computers handling it. So the in memory processing is fast. And data frame, I will teach you guys what is data frame API, and supports SQL queries, and is used for machine learning, graph streaming, and all. So these things are the benefit of using the PySpark. These are some of the imports, guys. Suppose import panda SPDs. That means you're importing the pandas for handling data frame operations, mainly used in PySpark. PySpark, guys. Now, data frame, guys, is like a table only where the data are coming in a frame format. It will have the rows and columns. But how to create a data frame and why it is required, all those things we will discuss later. And from PySpark, we can import the Spark session, guys. So Spark session means a kind of entry point when you can start the actually processing of data using the PySpark. And from PySpark SQL functions, you can import the column pandas and UDFs. That means it is something like, guys, used for the column operations, which is used in the PySpark data frames. So this will help us in importing the pandas UDF, guys, so which helps and defining a PySpark UDF that work with pandas series. So we'll see what is pandas and how we work with pandas, UDFs, and all. And this is one more import. So from sentence transformer import sentence transformer. So we'll import the sentence transformer, a popular model for converting text into numerical vector embedding. So that is nothing but your guys actually sentence whatever we are writing using the Python and PySpark. Sometimes we need to convert the text into numerical forms. That time we use this sentence transformer. We need to take from the sentence transformer and import it into the sentence transformer. And from PySpark SQL, we'll import this array and floats. We'll see this. So till here, this is just guys overall introduction what I have given you. So about the PySpark. So you have any doubts, guys? You can just ask if anyone has any doubts here. What is PySpark or anything? Please ask me. Mukesh,
Yes, sir.
yeah, any doubts here till here? Tell me.
No, sir.
So what is PySpark, Mukesh?
So PySpark is a Python API. Especially it is from Apache.
So it is used
It's a
why?
Apache. Yes, sir.
Why it is used?
For big data processing, machine
Yeah,
learning, and
for you can tell distributed computing. See, big data
yes,
means distributed computing only. Okay.
yes, sir.
Main thing is for distributed computing. Okay. The main use of PySpark is what? You can use distributed computing. So now suppose I want to create a simple data frame. Okay. So now let us just see, guys. So we'll go to the Databricks, guys. Okay. Let us, these are called as guys, uh, here you can just write your codes. So you can just come here and you can write from PySpark.sql, import the Spark session. This is very much required that from the PySpark.sql you want to import the Spark session. And to initialize this Spark session, you have to use Spark session.builder.app name. And here you can give the any name. Suppose I'm writing example, get or create means the starting point of the Spark. If you don't write this particular line, then Spark will never initialize, never open. And then guys, this is the sample data. Suppose data is 1 and then it is Alice and then 25, 2, Bob 33, Charlie date 35. And then we are defining the schema, guys, column names. So these are the column name, ID, name, and age. And to create a data frame, we use a method called as create data frame, spark dot create data frame, and take this data and take this schema equals to columns. And then to see this data frame, we are using df dot show. Let us just execute this. First, it will connect to the cluster, guys, and then it will execute this command, and a data frame should be created. So let us just wait, guys. It will take a little bit time, but it will be done. Just let us just see. It is just taking a
Sir,
little
this
bit time.
create or sir, this get or create, it's a method in PySpark or like
Yes. So see, first of all, you have to understand in this Spark, there's a method called as create data frame. And this create data frame, you are passing first thing is what data. Then you are passing is what is the column. And after you have passed the data and column, and then you are writing this data frame dot show, you are getting this data frame. Yes or no, Mukesh? Tell me.
yes, sir.
So what is a data frame in Python is guys a two-dimensional table only, okay? And it is provided by the Panda library, okay? So this is how we create a data frame. First, we have to initialize this Spark session. Guys, these things you have to remember, else it will be very difficult, or you have to practice it so much that you don't forget. First, you have to write this Spark session dot builder dot app name and then the name. Then get or create. This means you have initialized this Spark session. This is a sample data. This is a particular data set of data I am giving. Three data sets I have given, one LIS 25 and all. Then I'm defining the schema, guys. So schema, what I have written? I have written the column names. Yes or no, Mukesh?
Yes, yes, sir.
So you are creating the column names, and then what you are using is that you're writing spark dot create data frame by passing the data, passing the schema equal to column, and then you are writing df dot show, and you can see the data frame. Any doubt, guys? Anyone? Till you?
No, sir. So
Anyone?
what is
Any doubt? Tell
Spark?
me. Tell me. Yeah, any doubt,
Yes,
guys?
Vikram.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tell me.
what
Uh,
is cluster?
See, cluster is used for handling the computing. Okay, so cluster is somewhat it is used in the big data. Okay, so if you don't initialize a cluster, okay, then you can't use it. So it is something like that. Once it is get initialized, okay, then only you can use the Spark things. So it is a set of you can tell a set of computers. Okay, so it first gets initialized, and after initializing the cluster, then only you can use the Apache Spark jobs. It's used by the developers, not by the testers. We will not get to all these things. There will be a cluster which will be already created, and you'll just click on there. You will click on run, and this cluster will get initialized and it will be connected. But as of now, if you ask me what is a cluster, the cluster is nothing but a computer resource, okay? Or you can tell it as a computer, and that is used for running any Apache Spark job. If you don't have a cluster, you can't run a Apache Spark job. So that is what is the cluster. Tell me, guys. Any more doubts? Tell me. Anyone was
so
asking?
what is Spark then?
See, Spark is used for data processing. Okay, it's a API. Okay, so that is what is the Spark. So Spark is basically used for distributed data processing. Okay, whenever you want a distributed computing framework, okay, for a big data I told you is a huge set of data. When you want a huge set of data, okay, then time you go for what? You go for the big data, and to process that big data you need a API that is nothing but your Apache Spark. So that is what is the API. If you don't install this PySpark and don't you will if you will not install, you can't use this particular Spark thing. So that is what is the Spark for distributed computing framework for big data processing. You will use for data which are very huge, and then you want to compute on those data. That time the software Apache Spark you need to install. You have to write in the command prompt. You have to go to the terminal. You have to write here
Okay, so can we say like Spark is a programming language?
pip install PySpark. Okay, so you
Spark
can
is
use.
an computation engine.
See, Spark, you can tell, is actually a distributed computing framework. If you ask me in a very specific way, then I can tell you it is actually used for the distributed computing framework. I can tell it is a distributed computing framework, and it's only used for the big data processing. To process the big data, it is itself a framework for doing the distributed computing. That is what is the Spark. Tell me, guys.
Okay.
Any more doubts? Tell me.
So in big data we have Spark, then Mahout and all this. Are these the same frameworks?
No. All are
Okay.
different frameworks. We can't tell like that. Okay. There's so
Okay.
many framework in big data, but what we require for ETL automation testing is nothing but the Spark. Tell me, guys. Do you have any doubts with respect to creating a data frame? Any doubt you have with respect to creating a data frame? What is this data? What is this column? And how we create a data frame? How we are putting this data? How we are putting the schema equal to column? What is this df.show? What is this spark session dot builder dot app name? And then what is this app name? Then what is that get or create? From PySpark dot SQL import this spark session. In this lines of code, you have any doubt, guys? Please tell me.
No.
Kanika, any doubt? Then you can ask anything. I don't mind as long as the questions is very initial stages of the learning. So I don't mind. You can ask any questions. That is absolutely fine.
Is data frame
Hmm.
what you told? Data frame.
See, data frame we can tell is a two-dimensional table. Okay, used for big data processing. So that is what you can call it as a data frame. So data frame is nothing, guys. Data frame is a two-dimensional table like only. Okay, it will have the structure same like a table, but this is provided by the pandas library. It will have the rows, it will have the columns, and will be used for data manipulation analysis. So data frame we can tell it is a two-dimensional table like a data structure and given by the pandas. That's all. Tell me. So you can, if you want, I can
So
write.
what is this app name
We
examples?
can give the name for data frame, or data frame itself is a name.
No. See,
It's
data
a
frame is
term.
a two-dimensional. Let me just write down the definition so that you remember. It's a two-dimensional. I can tell you a table like data, okay, given by pandas. I'm giving the most simplest definitions, guys, okay, so that you become it completely familiar with it. So it consists of rows and columns and can be used for data manipulation. Okay. Do you remember which are the DML commands? Data manipulation. Anyone remember?
Insert, update, delete.
Yeah, inside of the delete. Yes or no, guys? DML commands. So data frame I have written, guys, very simple definition. Data frame is a two-dimensional table like data given by pandas. Very simple. It consists of rows and column. Can be used for data manipulation and analysis. I don't think there can be a simplest more than this any simpler definition for data frame. Tell me. What is the other question you were asking? Anyone was asking? Tell me.
Pandas.
Pandas is library of Python, no? Pandas are the libraries of Python. See, pandas, there are a lot of libraries of Python, okay? So that is one of the library in Python is nothing but your pandas, okay? So if you want to install pandas, I am using the Databricks for manipulation of data. But if you want to do all these things in here, then you have to write here pip install pandas. So this is nothing but a library, okay? And then the pandas command and everything you can use it by installing the pandas. And the simple command is there pip install pandas. That means you can install the pandas and their libraries, and then you can access it. It is just extra features it will give, which you can't use using Python only. So for using that extra features, you have to use that library. That is nothing but the pandas. Tell me, guys. Any more doubts?
Pandas, it is a library. Means, what is the purpose of this library? Means
Because you will have some extra features. Okay. Suppose creating a data
for
frame.
big data, or it's for
No. For creating a data frame, you can use a pandas library. For doing manipulation in the data frame, you can use pandas. So for doing all those analysis, analytical work, which we can't do in Python, we will go with the pandas. Suppose, let me just tell you a simple example to explain it. Suppose, guys, if we are going in a car, okay. Now, if we are not putting the seat cover, then still we can drive, right? But if we put a seat cover, we get some extra luxury and extra features, extra comfort, which simple seat cannot provide. So that is what is the extra features and extra library which pandas are providing. If you go to a luxurious car, there are a lot of features which is not present in a ordinary car. So that extra features for which is used, that is nothing but the panda for data analysis and manipulation. So this is a library which is used, and it is given by the Python to use very data like data frame to work on that, and then for data analysis, manipulation, creation of data frame, comparison of data frame, deletion of data frame, finding duplicates in a data frame. So doing all those things now, we require some a powerful library. So one of the powerful libraries, pandas, which as an ETL automation tester, we must know. So that is what is the thing. Tell me, guys, any more doubt?
So here in your code, have you imported pandas? in your
Yes, see,
PySpark
see,
code?
see, in Databricks it's already there. Okay, in Databricks already there. But if you want to install in this PyCharm, then you have to write pip install pandas. Then only you can install. If you want
Okay.
to execute any code in this PyCharm, then you have to install pip install pandas. But if you are using Azure Databricks, okay, so all those things are not all those things are there, guys. If you want to use a good tool, then you should go with the Azure, guys. And here is there pandas are there, and whatever if I write some wrong codes also, guys, there's a feature, it will just give an error, and at the same time you can just click on this diagnose error, and then what will happen is that it will tell you what is the error. What is this telling? You need to close the df.show method with a closing parenthesis. Are you able to see, guys? Am I getting this things? And then it gives the correct code also. So this is the beauty of using this kind of tool, which is Azure Databricks. That's why everyone nowadays, if you go as an ETL tester and you tell only I know ETL manual testing using Informatica and SQL, then you will not be given that much value. Okay, because now the code itself is getting generated. I showed you, right? I written one syntactical error, and I just clicked on here and I got an error, and the code itself, when I clicked on diagnosis error, and the code itself is given by this AI tool. We don't need to correct it. We can just copy this code and execute here. Are you able to see? Will this be given by the PyCharm? Will this will be given by this SQL softwares or any other softwares? No.
No,
That
sir.
is why this is a paid version. That is why we go for Databricks, and that is why every company, irrespective of it is costly, but they are going for this because it will not take much time, right? Immediately, I'm getting this error, right? You need to close this one. This is the beauty of this particular software, Azure Databricks. This is giving me this error. Else I would have never come to know. I have to manually check that what is the mistake I have done, where I have to do line by line. This is a small code, okay? If there's a 1,000 line code, then we have to manually debug each and every line of the code, and then it will become a time-taking thing. So that is what is the beauty of this software, guys, and that is how we are going to learn this entire PySpark, how we create a data frame, guys. After creating of the data frame, we'll also see a data frame which is created from pandas. So first we will import the pandas. So we'll write import pandas, and we can give a name as PD. Okay, import pandas and PD. And from this PySpark.sql, we'll import the Spark session. And then we will initialize this Spark session. And then we will create a data frame using the pandas method. There are two methods to create a data frame. Actually, three using CSV also. So how we will see this PD, whatever the pandas we have imported, dot data frame, and then we will pass these values, and then we will see what df.show, then one data frame will be created using this pandas library. So that is what is the next thing we are going to see using the pandas library. Today we have learned to create a data frame, simple data frame from a list. There's a list of values, there's a list of columns, there's a method called as create data frame. We have passed the schema equal to columns and data here, and then we have used initialize this Spark using Spark session.builder.app name dot name the name whatever we want to give dot get or create, and we have imported from this from PySpark.sql import Spark session, and we have created the data frame. Any doubt, guys, here in creating a simple data frame from a list? Anyone has any doubt? Tell me. Are you clear, guys? Tell me yes or no.
Yes.
Are you clear? What is a
Yes,
data
sir.
frame? What is a, I have written, guys, what is a data frame? This is a two-dimensional table, guys. Okay. And it's given by whom? By the pandas library. It consists of what? Rows and column used for data manipulation. Then I told you guys what is a Spark. I told you it is a framework. I'm writing here for simplicity. So Spark, guys, now it is a framework, okay, for distributed computing, okay, for distributed Distributed computing, I told you guys, there are lot of huge data, so we distribute the work and then it becomes faster. If a particular piece of work is there, now it becomes difficult, right, to do that work for a single person. But if we distribute it to 10 people, then it will become easier, then it will become faster. That is what is the distributed computing. So that is what is the Spark. For distributed computing, we are using the Spark for the movement of data. It becomes faster if we use a Spark Apache framework. And then I told you what is a data frame. Then I told you pandas is a library of Python for doing some enhanced features like working in a data frame. And then I told you guys how to create a data frame from a list. That's all, guys, I have taught you. Any doubt still here? Tell me. Any doubt, guys? Tell me yes or no.
No.
No doubts. Then please go through this lecture,
Okay.
guys.
No, sir.
I'm always sharing you the recording so that you get a clarity. I'll share you these notes. You can just refer to the notes. Try to at least take the commodity version of Databricks, execute this particular piece of code, try to understand what is this initialization of a Spark session, what is this sample data, what is this columns, how to create data frame, and then what is this df.show. The name of this data frame was df. When I wrote df.show, we got the data. Yes or no, guys? So like that,
Yes.
the I will continue from tomorrow, guys, and I will